Hello everyone, welcome to Sankalp Study Success and Discrete Mathematics in third unit. Actually, this is a subject and group what you have in GATE examination also this subject is there, and also for second year CSC and IT both second year second sum this subject is there. Clear? So in discrete mathematics not only topic wise, just I want to discuss unit wise. Okay, so some set of concepts will be there in every unit. So now today's session I am going to discussing about unit 3 in discrete mathematics. Okay, so in unit 3 we have a properties of algorithm, complexity of algorithms and inductions and recursions. Clear? So if you have any doubts, please message me divyamam2020@gmail.com. This is very important subject for GATE purpose. See here in the unit 3 we have all these concepts: properties of algorithm, growth functions and complexity of algorithm, and inductions and recursions. In that mathematical inductions, this topic is very important. Okay, so let us discuss first one, algorithms. The first part of, so in this session I am going to discussing about the first part of third unit. Clear? Now see what is algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but finite set of precious instructions, means a step by step procedure, Let us take any example or any program or any method. Okay, what we have to do, we have to follow the step by step procedure, then only we will get a certain output or correct output, right? So that particular step by step process is nothing but algorithm. Okay, it is a finite set, not infinite set, it is a finite set. Remember this, very important. Algorithm is a finite set of instructions. These instructions are performing the computations or solving a problem. Okay, so alternatively we can also say that algorithm is nothing but step by step procedure to solve the problem. Okay, and next come to the next topic of algorithm, that is characteristics or properties of algorithm. So generally in algorithm we have several characteristics and several properties. So here we have 7 properties actually. So what are the 7 properties? Or input, here IP means input, and finally we have the output. Okay, and finally next one we have definiteness, and next we have correctness, finiteness, effectiveness, okay, and next one we have generality. Okay, generality. So these are all the finiteness, this one, correctness, this one. Okay, so these are all 7 properties we have for algorithm. Okay, so in order to write an algorithm you need to follow all these properties. Now see the first one by one. What do you mean by input? You see, as you are engineering students, that too CSC and IT. Okay, so mostly you people for software jobs only, you will do only software jobs, right? In software sector you have many platforms, many languages are existing in that. So before going to writing a code for a particular project, what you have to do, you need to write an algorithm for that particular program. Before going to write a core code, what you have to do, you have to write an algorithm. That means a step by step process. What are the variables we should use, what is the main theme of, or else what is the main problem of that program. Okay, how we consider it, what next what we have to add, what we have to subtract, or what we have to search. Likewise, that is depending on the program, depending on the problem, we have to write the steps in algorithm, right? In that, first thing, what property we have to check? Input. Input, here the values that are from the specified set. So what the values that gives to the algorithm is nothing but input. Let us take some x, y, z variables. So these are all the input values. So here algorithm has an input values from specified set. So here algorithm receives output. Algorithm which receives the output and it gives the it receives the input and it will gives the output. Clear? I repeat the statement: an algorithm which receives the output and it will gives the output. It receives the input and it will gives the output. So here an algorithm produces output. That means it gives the output values from each set of the input values from a specified set. So here meeku em cheppanu, input means what? It receives the input values from where specified set నుంచి values ని తీసుకుంటుంది, and it will gives the or else it will produces the output. It will produces the output. For example, z is equal to x plus y. Okay, so after addition of these two variables, the particular variable, the particular answer that will shown on the z value, right? So here the output variable will be z, right? So moreover, here output values are solutions of the given problem. So what is the output here? Our solution. And next one, next property is definiteness. Definite means here the steps of algorithm must be defined preciously. Each instruction should be clear and ambiguous. క్లియర్. సో ప్రతి ఒక్క ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్ కూడా క్లియర్ కట్గా ఉండాలి. ఓకే, క్లమ్జీగా ఉండకూడదు. ఈ షుడ్ నాట్ బీ క్లమ్జీ. ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ స్టెప్ ఇన్ అల్గోరిథం షుడ్ బీ క్లియర్ అండ్ ambiguous. Okay, and next one, correctness. Correctness means what? It should be produce the correct output values. It should not give the wrong output. That is correctness. So after doing all the steps in algorithm, for example, let us take one algorithm 1. Okay, so here we not only brackets, we have several steps ma. Okay, around 5 steps will be there. After doing all these steps, you have to get the correct output. For example, let us take x comma y comma z values. X equal to 10 and y is equal to 20, and here what we want, z is equal to x plus y. Okay, so we want to do addition of two variables. So after that we have to get the output value. So what is the output value for this? What is the z value? 10 plus 20, that is 30. Okay, we should get 30 value because this is the correct output. We should not get other than 30 like 20 or 10 or any 50 or any 70 value. Because of these two variables 10 and 20, we should get 30 only. That is correctness of algorithm. After doing all the steps in algorithm, that particular algorithm should produce the correct output values only for all each input set values. These are all the input values. This is the output value. Okay, and next fourth property is finiteness. Finite means it should be finite value. Finite number of steps will be there. There is no infinite steps. Okay, here let us take some 5 steps or 7 steps or 10 steps or 100 steps. Finite number of steps will be there in algorithm. Okay, in an algorithm it should produce the desired output after a finite number of steps or any input in the set. So here how many steps we have? 1 and 2 3 4 5 6. So here we have 6 steps. Okay, so 6 finite number of steps. It should not be infinite. Infiniteగా ఉంటే ఎప్పటికీ ఆ ప్రోగ్రామ్ మనకి రన్ అవ్వదు. అది కంటిన్యూగా ప్రోగ్రామ్ మనకి రన్ అవుతూనే ఉంటుంది, దాని నుంచి అవుట్పుట్ రాదు. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ ద థింగ్ హియర్. ఇట్ షుడ్ బి ఫైనెట్నెస్. ఇట్ షుడ్ నాట్ బి ఇన్ఫినిట్. ఇన్ఫినిట్ ఉంటే వాట్ విల్ బి హ్యాపెన్? If infinite number steps will be there, what will be happen? You did not get the output at any time. Okay, the program will be going on. It will be run. Next, effectiveness. Effectiveness means it must be possible to perform each step of algorithm exactly and in finite time limit. Okay, the prescribed time limit will be there. Within the time limit only that particular algorithm have to be run. Okay, that is nothing but effectiveness. And next, generality. Generality means applicable for all the problems of desired form. Okay, not only for the particular set of input values. So here let us take I wrote some algorithm for addition of two numbers. Okay, so here this particular algorithm is available for all problems of desired output. Okay, not only for x equal to 10, not only for y equal to 10. You can take x equal to 30, y equal to 40. So you have to follow the same procedure that is in addition of two variables in algorithm, right? Hope you understand generality. Generality means applicability. This particular here, this code is what is this code? This what are the steps in algorithm 1? Addition of two variables. So you can take any input values, this particular algorithm will be used. Okay, no need to write again. This is not only for the particular set of input values. That means this is not only for 10 and 20. You can take x equal to 30, y equal to 40, or you can take x equal to 40, y equal to 100. Okay, so 40 plus 100, what is the z value? 140. So here 140 is the correctness. correct value. Clear ma? So that is about, we have several properties in algorithms: input value, output value, definiteness, correctness, finiteness, effectiveness, and generality. Okay, let us see the example here. Algorithm finds the minimum 3 numbers x, y, z. So see the example here. Minimum, let us take minimum value is x. What is the minimum value? So here how many variables? 3 numbers, x comma y comma z. First let us take that minimum value is x. So here algorithm will be, in the first step in this algorithm, minimum equal to x. Okay. Then second step, what we have to check, whether second variable, that is y, if y less than minimum, okay, let us take x equal to 10, y equal to 20 and z equal to 30. Okay. So here minimum equal to x, that means what is the value? Minimum equal to 10. Now check the second value with minimum value. So what is the minimum value? That is 10. So here what is the y value? 20. 20 less than 10? Is 20 less than 10? No. Now go to the third step. If z is less than minimum, what is the z value? 30. Is 30 is less than, what is the minimum value? 10? No. So y is not a minimum value, z is not a minimum value. So what is the minimum value here? X value. So print x, simply print x, that is print minimum, right? If for example here y value is 5, let us take 5, y value is 5. Okay. Now here what we have to check in first step, minimum equal to x, minimum equal to x, that is x value is 10. Here x value 10 comma 5 comma 20. Okay. In the second step we have to check y less than 10 or not, y less than minimum. Here y less than minimum, that is 5 is less than 10, yes, then print y, then print y, that means what is the minimum value? 5 here. Now what is the value there in the minimum? 5, not 10. Okay, it turns to 5. Now again check the third value, z value. If z less than 10, z less than minimum, means what here? 5 less than, not 5, 20 is less than 5, no. So what is the final value, minimum value? 5 only. Like this we have to find out the algorithm. So simply how many steps we have? We have only 3 steps in this algorithm. Okay. So the time consumption also very less, and also how many steps we have? 3 steps only. Right, 3 steps only. So finite number is there. How many steps? There is no infinite steps. We have 3 steps only. Finite number is there. Okay. Now, and next concept is define the trace of the function. So define the trace of the function means, if the execution of an algorithm is shown for some particular values of the variable, say x, y, z, then such simultaneation is called, we can call it as trace of the algorithm. What does it mean here? Means we have some algorithm, let us take some algorithm 1, okay. So this particular algorithm 1 have some variables, let us say those variables are x comma y comma z, okay. So these variables, some values will be there, some execution time will be there for this particular of these particular variables. So the execution of algorithm of these variables is nothing but trace. I repeat the statement, the execution of the algorithm of these particular variables. How ante enta execution time avutundi ee 3 variables manaki execute avvadaniki, that is nothing but trace. Okay. Now complexity of algorithm. So what is the complexity of algorithm? It refers to processing of deriving the estimation of time and the estimation of space needed for that particular algorithm. So complexity, okay, remember this very important, complexity of algorithm, we can determine time and space. Okay, we can determine time and space. With the help of time, we have to estimate the time. Here time in the sense how much time is required to execute that particular algorithm. Okay, how much space is required to save that or to store that particular algorithm in the system. Clear? So that is time complexity and space complexity, right? So very important complexity of an algorithm. So it is very important to estimate the time, because number of steps here, time is depending on the number of steps. If number of steps is less in a particular algorithm, then what will happen? run of the program, execution of the program will be low, okay, when compared to the more number of steps. In for example ikkada entante let us take two algorithms, algorithm 1 and algorithm 2, okay. For example, let us say in algorithm 1 we have some 1 2 3 4 steps only, but in algorithm 2 we have 8 steps, okay. So here for algorithm 1 we have only 4 steps. So for execution of these 4 steps, how much time we required for execution of algorithm? We just required 2 seconds. 2 seconds of time is required, okay. For here we have 8 steps. For these 8 steps, how much time is required to execute this algorithm 2? We required 4 seconds. Let us take, just assume this example. So here algorithm 1 execution time is 2 seconds and algorithm 2 execution time is 4 seconds. So which one is algorithm 1 is the best one or algorithm 2 is the best one? ఏది మనకి ఫాస్ట్గా ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ అయ్యి అవుట్పుట్ ఇస్తుంది? సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ which one is the less time, it will give the output correctly, right? It will give the output timely. So here we get the output from algorithm 1 first, and then after 2 seconds we will get the output from the algorithm 2. So here what I am trying to say here, time is very important, space is very important. That means, what do you mean by space? Time means what? Number of steps. Remember this, number of steps. It involves number of steps. If steps more, then consumption of time is, estimation of time is more. If steps is less, then execution time is less. Remember this point. If number of steps is more, then execution time is more. If number of steps is less, execution time is less. అందుకే ఎప్పుడైనా సరే మీరు అల్గోరిథం రాసేటప్పుడు మీ యొక్క ప్రోగ్రామ్కి లెస్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ స్టెప్స్ ఉండేటట్టుగా చూసుకోవాలి, సో దట్ ఇట్ విల్ బి ఎఫెక్టివ్, ఓకే. And next criteria in complexity of algorithm, space in terms of number of variables. What do you mean by here? Number of variables. So how many variables are required this algorithm? For example, here we have only 2 variables, but here we have x, y, z, a, b, c. How many variables? 1 2 3 4 5 6 variables is there. Here 2 variables is there, right? So space complexity, how we can estimate the space, how much space is required? You see, we have some integers, float, character concept, right? So integer means 2 bytes. Let us take some integer x comma y, 2 integers here. So we require only 4 bytes only. X comma y 2 variables, for this we required only 2 bytes. Let us take, okay. And the remaining x, y in algorithm 2, it requires how much space? For example 10 bytes, okay. So which one? Algorithm 1 requires 2 bytes, algorithm 2 requires only 10 bytes. So which algorithm executes first? Obviously 2 bytes algorithm executes first, then algorithm 2 will execute. Hope you understand, right? So here understanding the time and space that is required by the algorithm, it will help to compare the algorithms. So based on this time, based on the space, we can compare this one. We can compare algorithm 1 and we can compare algorithm 2. Here the steps is less, so execution time is less. Here the number of variables is low, okay. Number of variables is very less, so only two number of variables is there. So here space also required. Algorithm 1 requires less space for these particular 2 variables, but in case of algorithm 2 we have the 2 criteria, that is time and space, okay. So algorithm 2, time requires 4 seconds. So when compared to algorithm 1, it 2 seconds more, and also when compared to algorithm 1, here variables also more, okay. 6 variables will be there. So this is how we can compare the algorithms with the help of time and space. So the estimation of time and space requires the execution of the algorithm. In order to execute a particular algorithm, let us take some algorithm. So here we have some steps like x comma y comma z, okay. X equal to some value, value 1 and y is equal to value 2 and z is equal to x plus y and then print z. So how many steps we have? 1 2 3 4 5 steps is there. Okay, so the estimation of time and space, I told you already, complexity, time complexity and space complexity is very important. So here time and space required to execute the particular algorithm. So in order to execute this particular algorithm, what we required? We required time complexity and we required space complexity. Time requires to execute an algorithm is a function of the input. Okay, so here what are the parameters we are used in this algorithm? That is nothing but size of the input. So here we can say that it is very difficult to determine the exact time complexity. We cannot determine the exact time complexity, but there are some important cases will be there. That is 3 important cases will be there in the complexity of algorithm. That is best case time, best case and worst case and average. Okay, average. So here we have how many types of complexity of algorithm? How many types, how many cases in complexity of algorithm? Best case time, worst case time and also average case time. So best case time is nothing but an algorithm is minimum number of steps. For example, minimum number of steps will be there. If the number of steps is less, then execution time is less. So that is the best case. If the number of steps is more, maximum number of steps is there in the algorithm, then automatically execution time automatically increases, right? So here just have a look here, number of steps is less. Okay, I indicate the less is down arrow. Okay, execution time is less. Okay, if number of steps more, then automatically execution time is more. Okay, this is in the case minimum number of steps, it is in the case maximum number of the case. That is the thing here, minimum number of steps, execution time is less, that is the best case. So this is the best case. This is the worst case. If the maximum number of steps will be there, then execution of time is more, so that is the worst case. What is the average case of time? In an algorithm, average steps that can be executed for the what? For example, average time means here, for example, this particular algorithm, how much time is required to execute? Let us take some 2 minutes. Okay, let us have some algorithm 2. Okay, this particular algorithm have some 50 steps. Okay, it requires some 8 minutes time. Okay, let us assume, let us take the values 2 minutes and 8 minutes. So for algorithm 1 2 minutes, for algorithm 2 8 minutes. So what is the average case time for these two algorithms ma? For what is the, so ఎంత టైంలో మనకి ఈ రెండు అల్గారిథమ్స్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద యావరేజ్ టైం, ఎంత టైంలో మనకి రెండు మనకి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవుతాయి అంటే like 2 plus 8 by 2, that is 10 by 2 in minutes of 5 minutes. Okay, so average case here 5 minutes. So that is about best case time, worst case time and average case time. So this is about complexity of algorithm, very very important. And next one, and next important topic in algorithms is growth of the functions. So how you can find out the growth of the functions means with the help of asymptotic notations. With the help of asymptotic notations, we can find out growth of the functions. So here we can describe the execution type and execution time of algorithm with the help of these notations. So these notations shows the order of the growth functions. So here how much time is taken by an algorithm, that is mapped in terms of the mathematical functions. So there are some mathematical functions we have, there are some asymptotic notations we have. So how many we have? That is 3 asymptotic notations means an. Okay, so we have 3 ma, that is big O notation and omega notation. So this is called omega, this one omega, and next one theta notation. Okay, so we have big O notation, big O, right? We have to denote big O, and this is sigma, not sigma, this is omega notation, and this one is theta, you know this one, theta. Okay, so what do you mean by big bone notation? How we can estimate time, execution time of time of algorithm with the help of big bone notation? How we can estimate the time of or growth of an algorithm with the help of big bone notation, right? So here how we can denote the function f of n is equal to O of z of n. So how we can denote f of n equal to O of big O of z of n here. So the main thing here, it is used to find the upper bounds only. Big O notation find out upper bounds, okay, and similarly omega will have to find lower bounds. Do you know upper bound and lower bounds? Let us take some example like 16, 17, 18. Okay, here the middle number is, let us take, this is the f of n. Okay, so what is the upper bound of 17? That is this one. So after 16, after 17 and 18 we have. So upper bound is what? 18. So this is upper bound and the 16 is lower bound. Clear? So in order to find out this upper bound, what we have to use? Big O notation. In order to find out the lower bound, what we have to use? Omega. Okay, that is the thing here. Let us take another example like 36, 37, 38. Just assume. Okay, so what is the upper bound here? 38. So let us take f of n is 37. Let us take f of n is 37. So what is the upper bound of 37 ma? That is 38. What is the lower bound of 37? That is 36. This is the lower bound. So in order to find out this upper bound, what we have to use the notation? Big O notation. What we have to use? Big O notation. Okay, so in order to find out the lower bound of 37, here we have to tell upper bound of 37, lower bound of 37. Okay, so in order to find out the lower bound of 37, what we have to use? Omega g of n. Clear? So how it will be? See the function constant here, the existing positive constants, that is c and n naught. C and n naught such that f of n is less than or equal to c of g of n. Okay, here we have to find out upper bound. This is upper bound value, so it should be lower value, like man 36, 37, 38, no. So anyhow 37 is less than 38, right? So this is the upper bound value, so it should be always less than or equal to. In case of omega, let us take in case of omega, what we have? Greater than or equal to. Clear? So f of n is greater than or equal to c of g of n, because here this value, this is lower bound value. Okay, here we need to find out lower bound of f of n, so it should be in greater than or equal to. So this notations is very important, students. Okay, f of 1 less than or equal to c of g of n. Here c is a constant and n is also constant. Okay, here we have a two positive constants, that is c is a constant and n naught or n1 is a constant. Clear? So what we have to remember here, exam point of view, big O is used for assume find out the upper bound of a particular function. Okay, omega is used for to find out the lower bound of a particular function. Okay, see the example 4n plus 2 and we have the notation 5n. Okay, so here the function f of n is equal to 4n plus 2, right? So 4n plus 2 less than or equal to 5n. So here this is the upper bound, this is the f of n, this is the f of n less than or equal to, this is the upper bound. So that means c of g of n. Okay, so what is the c here? 5. Clear? So like this we have to do the sums. Next one, omega notation. So in omega notation, function n, that is omega g of n, with existing positive constant c and n naught, it should be greater than or equal to. Simply the negative of big O notation, that is omega. Okay, f of n is should be greater than or equal to g of n. So this is the lower bound. For example, 4n plus 2, 5n. 5n is greater than. Okay, just and what will be the less than? So here 4n plus 2 is less than 5n. Okay, so this is the upper bound value, this is the lower bound value. So what is the lower bound of this value? That is 4n. Okay, let us assume 4n. Let's simple n equal to 1. Take n equal to 1. Okay, so 4 into 1 plus 2, that is 4 plus 2. 4 ones are 4. 4 plus 2 6. Okay, and in here 4n, n equal to 1, 4n. 4 into 1 4. So which one is greater than? This one is greater than. 6 is greater than 4, right? So 4n plus 2 greater than, we have to assume greater than or equal to 4n. So here C is equal to what? 4. N not equal to what? N. Clear? So like this we have to do. In the second example also, 40n square 5n plus 3 sigma, what he gave? 40n square, right? So here 40 is the C is equal to 40. Now some notations we have. For example, O of n, that is called linear. If O of n is there, it is linear. N square is there, that is quadratic. If n cube is there, that is cubic. If 2 power n is there, that is exponential. Okay, and logarithms, you know the logarithms, right? O of log n is faster than whom? O comma n. O of n kante this one is faster. Okay, and for sufficiently larger n, and O of n log n is faster than O of n square. Remember this point, you may get the questions on this GATE examination. O of log n is faster than dash and adutaru. Okay, na O of n, O of n square, O of n cube ani. Okay, O of log n is faster than O of n. That means the execution time of space is good for this one when compared to this one. And O of n log n is faster than O of n square. So here this one is faster than this, but slower than this. That means when compared to these three, which one is good? O of log n, O of n, O of n log n low. O of log n when compared to O of n fast. When compared to these two, this one is good. Clear? When compared to these two, this one is good. When compared to these two, this one is good. So here they like this we have to find out. And the last one, theta notation. Theta notation means between the value. So here we find out upper bound value and lower bound value. So here f of n equal to theta g of n. Theta of g of n. So f of n less than or equal to big O g of n. F of n greater than or equal to omega, and f of n equal to theta. Okay, so here theta is a single. So what we have to do, here we have to take two constants, C1 and C2 and n naught. So C1 g of n less than or equal to f of n less than or equal to C2 g of n. So simply here let us take some 55, 56, 57. Okay, so 55 is less than 56 is less than 57. So this is the theta notation. This is the theta notation. Likewise 12, 13, 14. Okay, 12 less than, 13 less than, 14. So this is the theta notation. So likewise, see the example here. The function 4n plus 3 equal to theta. So what is the function 4n plus 3 is equal to theta? So 4n plus 3 is greater than or equal to 4n. Greater than means what? It is omega. And next 4n plus 3 less than or equal to 5 means what? Big O. Big O. Now from these two expressions, will you determine theta? Yes, we have. Here this is the greater value. So this is the f of n. This is the f of n here, and this is the c of n, and this is the c of n, 5n. So let us take 4n plus 3 in middle. Okay, 4n plus 3 is less than or equal to 5n, right? Less than or equal to 5n. And 4n plus 3, 4n is less than, 4n is less than or equal to 4n plus 3 and less than or equal to 5n. So like this, from these two expressions, like this we have to write the theta notation. Clear everyone? So here these are the some notations we have in algorithms. Okay, big O notation, omega notation, theta notation, in order to find out the lower bound, upper bound of a particular function. So So in the first unit, properties of algorithm done, growth of functions is done, complexity of algorithm is done. Okay, and the next class I am going discussing about mathematical inductions. Thank you so much, ma. To subscribe to our channel Sankalp Study Success. Okay, for more videos.